Coming to you from the great state of Wisconsin, this is a CS27 Studios production. You're listening to the Binary Brothers Podcast featuring Ryan and Clay. It's time now to open your ears and prepare your mind because life's too short to be constrained in black and white. So without further ado, here are your hosts, Ryan and Clay.
Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Binary Brothers Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan, and with me is my co-host, Clay.
What's up?
What's up indeed. Episode 5, like I said, we've been doing this short period of time, but this is the first episode of the year.
Yeah, right? Welcome to the world of tomorrow.
It's 2018. I mean, last podcast, we had no idea what was going to happen. It's been, a week or so now in 2018. It's not going too shabby, huh?
Yeah, we're literally in the future now.
If only past Ryan and Clay knew about all the wondrous technology.
If only. Because we're going to be telling them all about it in this episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ties into the main topic. We're going to be talking about a little bit of connected homes, smart devices, Internet of things.
All that fancy stuff.
All that shiny, blinking lights, all that stuff. So...
especially the necessary LEDs that you have to have on everything.
Well, if it doesn't have LEDs, then why are you even using it?
Yeah, what's the point? That's my selling feature.
I mean, here's the deal. If you try and pitch me a product and it doesn't have LEDs on it, I'm going to think twice. LEDs, though, shut up and take my money.
They're essentially the modern nightlight.
Just it's funny because I've got, obviously everyone has a cluster of their like router and modem, even if you have a combo, and they have like 10 lights.
Yeah, nobody knows what they mean.
I went out into the living room and it's just lit up bright blue because of all that stuff.
If you ever,
it's never dark in here.
And if you ever call support because your routers or internet's just not working, they're like, "Well, is that light blinking? There is a light blinking.
There's
one of the
light.
10 are.
I'm not sure. I just don't. There's just so many. Like you said, no one knows. So there's so many lights.
So many lights, but it's kind of cool. Kind of cool looking.
Kind of neat.
I mean, like I said, that's the selling feature for me.
All right, well, let's kind of get this thing started. Before we get into our main topic, we kind of like to do a couple segments to kind of get you into our minds, get you feeling kind of what we're feeling, get a feel for you of our mood right now. So the first thing we want to talk about is, maybe some music. So, like, Clay, is there any new or old music that's, tickling your eardrums these days?
There kind of is, and I would have to say it's pretty much old at this point. But so there's been recent news, and this has been happening since about 2006.
Oh, that far back?
Yeah, that far back. That we've been waiting for this kind of news, and it seems like every year we hear the same thing and nothing really progresses. And that is new Tool.
New Tool, huh?
New Tool.
It's been that long?
Yeah. 2006 was their latest release. And was exactly the time I actually started getting into them. That album was kind of what turned me into a fan.
And then they decided, hey, now that Clay's a fan, no more for a while.
Well, it took them, I think, like 5 years between albums before that. So they make a lot of like complex, they take their time with a lot of their stuff.
It makes probably a better product at the end of the day.
I think so, but everyone's opinions are opinions.
Well, I think there's not too many artists that can just crank out a lot of work and have it be consistently good.
Right. I'd agree with that. Unless you have a complete, absolute team of hundreds of songwriters ripping out these songs for you. Or you've bought the vault of thousands of Michael Jackson unreleased tracks that are now going to be your own songs.
They're yours now.
They're essentially yours now. You get to re-record in your voice and then sell it. But yeah, so there's been kind of this latest news that the new album's definitely going to be coming sometime in 2018 here. So,
have you heard that before, though?
I haven't heard them say it's coming out in 2018.
But like, is this the most confident that, I guess, like, rumors or news has been?
I think so.
Well, that's awesome.
It's mostly because we've kind of figured out over the past couple years or so kind of what's been the holdup with it. And they've been in some like legal battles and stuff like that. And they're slow progress or process anyhow. So once kind of that got out of the way, and then now it's been a year or so, and all of a sudden pretty much everyone in the band's like, yeah, it's coming out at some time in 2018. Except for the lead singer, who is, I mean, he's kind of a tool, but he's probably my favorite tool.
I see what you did there.
He's also the lead singer of A Perfect Circle and Pucifer. I really enjoy a lot of his work, but he can act or seem like a little bit of a tool, I guess, for lack of a better term.
That's it.
But he's always like the last one to touch the music anyway.
Oh, really?
The band like creates everything, all the music and everything, and then once it's all done, he kind of just jumps in and just creates the lyrics for it. So he's kind of like, I haven't seen it, but whatever. So, I mean, he's got a bunch of his side projects. He also has a vineyard that he runs too. So, I mean, he's a busy man himself. So it's mostly the other guys that are in the weeds with the whole music. But anyhow, this news broke out, so I've just been kind of listening to a lot of past Tool stuff. So that's kind of the music I've been jamming to lately.
I don't know if I've ever listened to Tool, so I might have to give them a go, especially if they're going to be coming out with new stuff soon.
I mean, we'll see how soon.
2018.
But, yeah. But I would suggest, some people would say start with their albums in chronological order. I would almost recommend going with the album I started out with, which was 10,000 Days. Now, you're not going to find it on Spotify, so you'll probably have to go on YouTube or something to listen to it.
Why is that?
Or possibly Google Play. I mean, it's like any other artist that's not on Spotify, just rights issues. There's a reason like Taylor Swift's not on Spotify.
True.
Artists can choose not to be on it.
I mean, everyone's got to make deals and moves that's
right.
The best for them.
Yeah. So they're not on it, but honestly, for their stuff, their albums are albums to kind of listen fully to, not just like pick one song. I mean, you certainly can. There's no problem with it, but I'll send you some links though.
Please
do. You can get the experience. But anyhow, I would like to hear your music because I think I've talked enough about mine.
About yours?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm not mad about it. So I guess since we last talked about music, we kind of did the best of, and even then I was listening to this new album by Brand New. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but they are like an alternative rock kind of emo punkish band, and they just came out with a new album, I guess last year now. Welcome to 2018.
Sweet.
So they came out with a new album last year. I mean, I got into a lot of their music just by picking it up on some like Motion City Soundtrack Radio. They came up on that and stuff like that. So I've been listening to their album off and on a bit, but one song that keeps popping up that I always jam out to a little bit is Can't Get It Out. by them.
That
So
seems like there's an innuendo in there somewhere.
no, it's can't get it out in the sense that it's the trying to speak words that they. Yeah, that way. And no innuendo. Well, I mean, there might be some innuendo.
You can never really tell.
Hidden in the lyrics somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just a song that it's kind of, I don't know. It's not really peppy because it's kind of just like slow and kind of melodic. And I don't know. I just like the way it sounds. There's like a background whistle, which I don't normally like in songs. You know, that was one of those things about a lot of pop music a few years back where it just seemed like, hey, whistle on a song and get on the top charts.
Yeah, it's very hit or miss.
Yeah, but in this case, it goes along with it, and yeah, I really enjoy the song. So that's my jam right now.
Sweet. I'll have to check that out myself.
I will send you a link.
All right, we will exchange links. We'll have your link people talk to my link people, vice versa. We'll get this settled.
Right. I mean, he might be a little bit busy saving Hyrule, but he'll get in touch with your people.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, that's enough for music, I guess, right?
Music is done.
The music portion of the show is over, friends.
If you only like music, turn this off now.
Please don't turn it off now. Don't listen to Clay. Listen to the rest of the episode. It's going to be a good one.
It is. I'm excited for this episode. First episode of 2018. Can't hold anything back, you know?
We know.
We know.
But yeah, I mean, speaking of being excited, I mean, what are you excited about these days? Do you have anything you're really looking forward to or something just in general?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it on one of our earlier episodes. I can't remember which episode. Might have been the first episode, actually.
We've recorded so many episodes.
We've recorded at least 4. I think this was the first episode I brought this up because that was right around kind of going into Thanksgiving, I think I mentioned it.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyhow, so this weekend I have a pond hockey tournament that I'm playing in, so I'm pretty stoked to play that.
Oh yeah, where's that at?
Up in Wausau.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that's where I'd been living the last couple years before moving back down here. But yeah, good to see some old friends again too up there. Definitely excited to play some outdoor hockey. And then next weekend I'm actually going out to Colorado for the first time to snowboard. So back to back, looking forward to weekends here.
That's all. It sounds like you've got action-packed weekends coming up here, man.
Pretty much. January is just packed, and then it kind of just drops off a bit. But that's fine.
I mean, it's always good to have a little bit of a rest after an uptick like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It better be.
Personally, am pretty excited, I guess, for this week in general and kind of next week. Because right now, CES 2018 is going on, the Consumer Electronics Show. So that's happening, and obviously we were just talking about it, LED, all the things.
Yeah.
Just all the new random stuff that's coming out, or even if it's just prototypes that they're just like, oh, we wanted to see if we could do this thing. You know, I'd love shiny new things and ideas. Not that I would ever probably throw ridiculous amounts of money at this stuff, but it's always cool.
Right, it's cool to see.
And then on top of that, there's starting in a couple days here is the Detroit Auto Show.
The big one.
So that's always fun again to see new things that are, you know, definitely going to come to market, or prototypes that are just ridiculous.
Mostly concepts.
Right.
Excitement, shiny things.
So that's my general being stoked is about all the shiny new things, both tech-wise and vehicle wise, I mean, and those are kind of crossing over.
Yeah. I mean, the automobile industry is just getting more techy as the years go on, so that makes sense that they kind of merge a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so we both kind of have some weeks here that we're just excited about, just right now, basically.
Oh yeah.
So we're all excited.
Yeah, yours is a little bit more action packed, but I mean,
you know,
you're doing stuff. I'm reading articles. And
I guess I'm physically doing more stuff, but I don't know.
Either way is fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You wanna get into the shiny new tech?
Yes, I do. You know, it's funny though. I think this was the least amount of time we spent on music and excitement. So we got plenty of time to talk about a bunch of gadgets and stuff.
Yeah, I mean we're leaving plenty of room.
Yeah,
hopefully we'll be able to fill it.
I mean, we'll do our best.
Our fans need it, man.
They're counting on us.
They have come to expect some quality content here.
So has CES already started? Yeah, it's already started. I've seen videos out there.
Oh yeah.
I haven't actually watched the videos. I've just seen them out there.
Yeah, it started on Monday, I believe.
Yeah. So have you seen any cool smart home stuff, gadgets coming out of that you want to start with?
So I guess one thing I kind of want to bring up and talk about is like 8K TVs.
8K TVs.
Because 8K TVs, right? That ridiculous, don't you think?
In a sense, yes.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's cool, but it always looks good with the promo stuff. We're just now getting into the point where 4K TVs are becoming like really affordable. Like you can
they're pretty much the norm now.
Right, and there's more content out there for them, and gaming consoles are outputting 4K. So, I mean,
yeah,
now 4K is a thing. So it does in a way make sense to be pushing that boundary of 8K, and I doubt stuff's gonna come to market anytime soon or be. Everything is just always so, especially in the TV world, those panels are just so expensive.
Yeah, and there's just not a whole lot of content for it. There's no reason to really get it because nothing supports it. Nothing creates that type of image yet.
Yeah, I mean, you always get some sort of technology in TVs like that do some like upscaling.
Right. That's all it is. It's just upscaling.
Right, because who at all has 8K content at this point?
Not I.
It's definitely not me. I'm not out here. I think my phone's camera can shoot in 4K, which is cool.
Yeah, but that's still not 8K.
I don't even have. It's only half the Ks.
I mean, you can't watch television in 8K. You can't really even watch it in 4K right now.
Yeah, I mean, even
that's like 2 generations behind still.
And I think like streaming services, I'm not sure which ones even have a lot of 4K content, if any. I know Netflix does. I believe.
If they do, like Netflix does, but not all of the content's 4K.
Yeah.
Right? And probably not even the majority of it.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one big thing with it. It's again exciting because it's shiny and new, and it's like, how many pixels can you pack into an area? I mean, I know when Apple came out with their Retina displays, that was like, holy crap, the pixels.
I can't see them.
Well, tiny. Yeah, speaking of like can't see them is
microscopic.
How well does the human eye see that? I think there's trade-offs there too, when it's like you're sitting in your living room, you're probably, I don't know, 8 feet away from your TV maybe?
I think I'm about 1.5.
1.5 feet away
Yeah.
from your TV.
Yep.
I don't think that's good for your eyes, man.
Yeah, I need to see a doctor soon.
I guess you would benefit from 8K though. You could definitely see those pixels.
I would have to move my head around so much I can't even see the other side of the TV. One corner to the next. My neck is just hurting so much.
But it's worth it though for the pixels.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I'm about 8 feet as well, I think. I mean, I haven't measured, but eyeballed it. Yeah, it's about 8 feet.
I feel like that's like we were talking about before the show. You can eyeball it, and I can be an amateur electrician. So
Yes, that's the way to do things.
We don't need pro measurements or equipment here.
Measure once, cut twice.
Why not?
Yep.
Cutting's half the fun.
Exactly. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some like the auto show, there's these things that get released that are essentially concepts and aren't going to be practical for a while, and are pretty much way too expensive anyhow for adoption.
Right. I mean, price is definitely always gonna be an issue at a thing like these. Even if they're ready anytime soon. I mean, like another thing that came out that was really, they've been talking about it for the last kind of couple years, and it's I forgot who did it, but they were thinking that Apple might do it. They were thinking that Samsung might do it. Fingerprint scanners, right? That are underneath your display panel on your phone.
I feel like one of the new phones has that. Doesn't the iPhone have that? The new new one?
The new one,
Like the X or the 10 or whatever you call it?
the 10 is, I'm pretty sure it's just all, they got rid of.
Like they don't have the button. They don't have a physical mechanical button anymore. It's just all screen.
Yeah, they've got no button. It's all screen except for the notch.
And that's where yeah, the notch. And that's where the fingerprint scanner was. It was on that button there.
Right, it was in the button, and I don't know what they did with the 8, if they moved it to the back or anything, but for the 10, I think they just use Face ID now. So it just fires light and lasers and all that stuff at your face to do some super accurate measurements and tell that it's you.
I'm not all that thrilled or convinced with facial recognition right now, especially
Oh, yeah?
especially the face unlock.
So Android had like,
They've had it for a while, but it's so,
I think they got rid of it.
yeah, they got rid of it because it was more of a detriment than it really helped.
Well, yeah, so it's like kind of a security risk, because I know I
Yeah,
kept
it's a huge security risk.
kept seeing things like, oh yeah, I printed out a big enough picture or just a high res enough picture and it tricked it.
Yeah.
Or
I completely don't trust it. I don't even think it's a quality security measure.
well, I mean, even your fingerprint, definitely not. Fingerprints aren't as unique as people think they are. Like the general public.
Right. And I'd be interested to see just how much they actually compare your fingerprint to whatever you actually put into your phone as your fingerprint password, essentially.
Right.
Right? How much they actually compare it, or they just say, it's 90% there, close enough.
Ah, close enough.
Close enough. You seem like a good person. I'll let you in.
Just like crime scene forensics. Yeah. Seems like this guy probably did it.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, like the other thing that I saw was Windows has a Windows Hello feature, I think it's called, and it's a look at your laptop or whatever will use your front-facing camera to look at you and figure out who you are. And there's this big thing where it was easily tricked by just like a normal picture or something stupid.
Right.
And like Microsoft patched it and whatnot, but it's just funny. Things like that just always seem insecure. Or another thing, not like actually racist, but they have like a hard time with like darker skinned people.
That's always been a big thing.
Like it can't tell who you are because it can't pick up.
Well, especially if you're not in good light, you just don't have, those shadows to pick up on or anything. You don't have the contrast you need.
Yeah, that's one thing that I think they solved this in some way with the iPhone 10 and Face ID, but it's like
that's what they say.
In the past, when I used to I just tried out the Face Unlock on Android, and it just was super inconsistent.
Yeah.
So it's more frustration. Like you said, it was more of a detriment than it was a help, and definitely insecure.
Yeah, I think I saw something lately about this alarm that they've put out there where I can't remember exactly what it was. I'll have to look it up, but it was something about using the webcam of your laptop to like make sure you got up or something, and it wouldn't turn off your alarm until it saw you like get up. Like, I'm like, that is the dumbest idea. Like, sure, yeah, I'll just let you watch me like that in my bedroom.
Here's the deal: stare at me in my bedroom until I get up.
Yeah, that sounds nice. I don't know. I'll have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure that was the thing. It just was like a big red flag for me. It's like, you can't be serious.
There's plenty of those apps or things where it's like force you to do something to wake up, but I don't know. I would not be comfortable. It's not that I don't know. I definitely know. I would not be comfortable with just my laptop or anything staring at me until it saw that I was up.
Yeah, no thanks.
So another cool thing that I saw from CES, they've been doing stuff like this, a little bit more prototypes, but I think this one is closer to coming to market. It's an LG TV that is like rollable.
Rollable? What do you mean rollable?
Rollable, right? I told Catherine this, and she's like,
explain yourself.
She's like, do you like you can roll it across the room or something, like it's on a cart or whatever?
Comes with a stand.
No, it's so the whole display itself is flexible, and so the prototype that I saw, or product, whatever, was basically like a big square rectangular box prism that the screen could roll down into. So obviously all the hard components aren't in that part, they're in the box or whatever, but the display itself is flexible to the point that it can roll down into this thing.
Huh.
So not like movie villain style or whatever, where a TV comes up out of something and it's it's one solid piece.
See, that's what I was picturing.
Right. So the execution of it looks similar to that, where it comes up out of a thing and goes down into a thing, but the display itself is rolling up into that area.
Mm.
So I thought that was neat. There's a lot of, I've always thought bendable, foldable displays have been interesting just because of a lot of sci-fi has, a thing the size of our phones, right? But then it can unfold into the size of a tablet. So imagining a future that was kind of like that, where you can make things more compact by being able to fold up a screen. Kind of neat.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how they kind of make screens more adaptable to different surfaces instead of just having a straight up flat, panel or whatever. It's kind of interesting for sure.
Yeah. They I know that they've done, I mean, that was the thing with the under the screen finger. We actually didn't really get to talking about that, but the under the screen fingerprint scanner it works by just like blasting light through the back of the panel.
Okay.
Which is, I guess like OLED panels are perfect for it because they're thin.
Okay.
And so it can blast that light through and use the reflection or whatever to scan whatever your finger would be, and then take that and translate that into fingerprint data to then run through your maybe it's 90% accurate algorithm.
Yeah, it's always interesting to just keep seeing the different ways they solve these types of problems, or quote unquote problems. Like how do we transfer that fingerprint scanner, away from our physical button and underneath, a screen or whatever. It's kind of neat how they kind of engineer and solve these problems. And then you come to a point where you're just like, wow, that's actually ingenious. Or you come to the point where you're like, this is the dumbest idea. Why would they ever think about this?
Right. Like you can have an idea that, ends up just being straight a bad idea. Or you have sometimes not even that great of an idea, but it's executed so well and so easy to use or so simple that even though it's not anything that you ever saw as a problem, you're like, oh, this is fantastic. I would enjoy having this in my life on a daily basis.
Yeah. I mean, we've been in plenty of meetings ourselves where we hear, solutions to problems that we have with our software or whatever we're building.
Right.
And it's just like, no, we can't do that. Like that's the dumbest idea I've ever heard. But you don't say that out loud, obviously.
Well, yeah, it's not appropriate.
Right. I mean, we're professionals. But it's just like, nah, man. It's not going to work.
How? Well, yeah, there's always the it's not going to work, or there's the but why would we do it like that?
Right.
Or,
like, picture yourself using that. Have you thought about that?
It would not be ideal.
I feel like if you did think about that, you would backtrack. Because it doesn't make sense. On the other hand, you get these ideas and you're like, well, I guess I never thought about that. We could do it that way.
Right, where you're the one who's like,
It's
they're
like,
why don't you get it?
Yeah. But you get these ideas and you're thinking, I've never tried it this way. Let's try it. But at the same time, what you don't know. And that's where budgets and scope just get ballooned, right?
Oh, yeah.
On projects. So, and I guess that's where the whole like research and development, R&D portions of these companies really come into play. You're just, you set aside so much money to just, let's try and solve these problems through brainstorming and figure this out somehow,
right.
Some way, which is much easier to do than just say, go on the fly when you have a project deadline, right?
Right. It'd be much better to have some sort of thought out plan of attack than coming in and being like, we need it to do a thing, so it needs to be done.
Right. So like all those solutions they're finding were probably found out years ago or years before development of the product even, started. Or how, I mean, it's such a common thing that you hear that like military technology is probably like 20 years advanced than what we see on the consumer side.
Yeah.
So like that stuff, a lot of our innovations could come from the military or like NASA or stuff like that. The research that those entities do.
Yeah. And it's like there's a company that was planning to have a fission or fusion kind of, I don't remember which one it is, reactor kind of thing that could power your home, right? But they're developing it for the military first, and because it'll just be ridiculously expensive,
Right.
and just not economical for your regular person. But then they predicted, within 5-10 years, it would trickle down to be something that you could legitimately like connect to your home and use that as a power supply instead of paying your power company.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that I wish people would understand when they always talk about how like NASA's budget should just be cut. Because why are we spending money in space when we should be spending it down here? Like, you don't understand how much of the technology and stuff you use on a daily basis was created because of NASA.
Right. It's like they're trying to solve problems that they have, or make things more efficient, or make things better, to be able to make going to space and doing things in space and doing all this research easier and better in general. And that, letting people think freely and do all that R&D that you're talking about ends up benefiting the regular person, because they end up with a chip in their phone that does a thing that needed to be compact to be on a shuttle or something.
Yeah. GPS. It's just one of those things. It's pretty much used everywhere for everything. Even your fridge.
Your fridge has GPS now.
Yours doesn't?
It's funny because I'm looking at a picture. I'm looking at a picture of a fridge with a giant display on it right now.
Why would I ever need my fridge with a TV? You only ask that question if you've never had one.
It's just like, I don't know. I don't know what's on this giant screen in here, but I had some idea. I don't remember how long ago. It's forever ago. But this idea of like a fridge that would be able to tell you exactly what's in your fridge. It would be able to tell you, you've got 1 carton of milk, or this much of whatever in it, and it would display it on a screen on the outside. It's like, that'd be something that is not in any way, shape, or form necessary. Like, just open the door.
Yeah.
and look at the stuff. But this is the type of stuff that, that particular thing, probably not a thing, but like a fridge with a giant display on it is clearly a thing right now because I'm looking at it.
Yep.
But yeah,
where else am I gonna watch Friends reruns?
Well, you got to see Friends, and then on the bottom half of the screen, you got to get your recipes, or
the weather,
the news at the same time.
Speaking of weather, oh my god!
Right, heat wave.
My shorts weather today.
I put away the winter jacket.
That's a bad idea.
Well, just like in the closet.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that was, a term for putting away.
That's as put away as it gets, man. I don't have fancy jacket storage. I'm just out here. I'm a simple man. I've got a hallway closet. I put all the jackets in it. I picked the appropriate jacket.
So yeah, it was like 58 degrees, I think, was the high today. Somewhere around there. It was close to 60 in January in Wisconsin. Like early to mid-January.
And last week?
Cold.
Negative.
Colder, yeah, much colder. But
negative 15.
But tomorrow it's going to be like 21.
Yep. And then it was raining today, right? And then
which was nice because my car needed it with all the salt on it.
Ugh. Car's looking rough.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, and then we're gonna get just this garbage wintry mix, or some snow even.
Yeah, I'm excited to see how icy the roads are tomorrow.
I almost ate it. Yesterday, it was this morning or yesterday. Going out to the car, I walked out and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's fairly nice out here. It's all right."
Did you do the windmill arms?
Ever so slightly, a little bit. They shot out.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, easy. But I didn't eat it. It was not a bad time.
Well, I'm glad to hear you came out with that ordeal. All right.
It was scary, man.
It always is. You can't control anything. You're just sliding.
Speaking of control, home control.
Home control.
With all these smart things we've got now, do you have anything that's like
that's smart?
Yeah, like smart home control devices or anything that's connected to the internet?
I don't think I have anything that's really connected to the internet. The only smart home thing that I currently have is a Roomba, if you'd count that as one.
I would.
Okay. But that's not connected to the internet or anything. That's just...
Does it connect? So it doesn't... I mean, they have some now
maybe.
I think they have some now that connect to like your Wi-Fi or whatever, and you can monitor or schedule it. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, you can... Well, yeah, I don't know. I guess I got mine a few years ago.
Okay.
So
how do you like it?
I love it. It's great. Especially, yeah, you can put it on a schedule and just have it go and, run, and, it makes it a little bit easier. Because I'm terrible at cleaning or having the motivation to clean all the time. So
yeah,
it's always nice.
Every once in a while, it strikes me. I'm like, here, Catherine's not like this. She hates to vacuum, which is perfect because I love to vacuum. I don't know what it is.
Do you want to come and vacuum? Actually, you can. I have hardwood everywhere.
Right. But now we have hardwood on like all of the first floor, and the second floor I can still vacuum.
Oh yeah, you can get that. You can get that in.
It's just
that compromise. That's what you gotta have as a couple.
And it works out. It's calming, man. You just vacuum, you just cover all the stuff. It's a whole thing.
Yeah.
One of the moments when I was like, I'm kind of an adult now, was when I got excited about buying a vacuum, because I was like, I got a pretty damn good vacuum here.
Look at all these features.
It was one of the weirdest things.
It's crazy. It's crazy the things you get excited about especially once you get a home.
Right? It's just stuff. Just random little things like, oh yeah, got some new curtain rods.
Yeah, these are gonna look good. I just got shelves the other week.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I got some shelves to put up in my office. I could finally unpack a box or two of stuff that I've been waiting to unpack because I wanted to put it on shelves that I didn't have.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I should get some shelves.
I'm telling you, it's going to change the way you look at your house.
I would think it would have to.
Pretty much guaranteed. Different. They don't connect to the internet, though.
Oh,
although, here's your $1 million idea, though. Smart shelves.
Ooh, okay. What is smart about them?
They connect to the internet.
Okay, but then what do they do with that internet connection?
See, that's where you come in.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So you've got the initial idea, right?
Right. I'm just an idea man here.
Sorry, I'll get it on production.
I'm throwing you a bone
by next week.
Sounds good.
All right. Cool.
Book it.
Smart shelves 2018. Hashtag. But yeah, so like smart things in general. You said you've got your vacuum. But
that does not connect to the internet. That is not smart at all.
Doesn't connect to the internet?
The Roomba does not. Well, I don't think it does. I haven't connected it to the internet if it does. So
I don't
maybe
know.
it's a feature. I don't know.
If it's a few years old, it might not.
Yeah, I don't really need it to connect to the internet.
It
has physical buttons. I can just say, "Hey, schedule, go, do it."
Hey, do your job. You do one job. You pass the butter. Little Rick and Morty joke there.
Rick and Morty. Oh
but
my
yeah,
god.
But yeah, I've got a few things. I don't know. I kind of went. I'm a big Google person. I like Google's stuff in general.
Google Home.
Yeah, I like their phones. I like Assistant's pretty solid. When it listens to you.
Okay,
yeah,
Google.
Don't do that.
Oh, I did it. It didn't. My phone didn't react though.
I don't know if any of my homes reacted because I'd have more than one. They're probably not in earshot.
Well, do you have speakers or do you have headphones in right now?
I have speakers on. I left my headphones at work.
Ooh, tough luck, kid.
I picked up my headphones before I left and thought to myself, do I need these? And said no. And then came home and realized
Rookie mistake.
I know, it's real JV of me. But I came home and was setting up and immediately was just like,
oh no.
Why would I've left my headphones there? Yeah. Yeah, you're on speakers. You're on the speakers that are on.
What was past me thinking?
Oh. I wish I could blame it on 2017 Ryan, but I was 2018 Ryan. But yeah, I've got a couple Google Homes. I've got the regular sized one, and then I got a mini. I got two minis, one for two. I might have two, maybe three. They were on Black Friday. Had this like stupid deal where
blame it on Black Friday.
Oh, I have to. It effectively brought the price down to $4.
Ooh.
It was done because like the normal price of a Google Home Mini is $50, and then for Black Friday it was on sale for $30.
What a deal!
If you bought it through Google Express and like Walmart, you got like a $25 Walmart gift card. And I don't know about you, but Walmart has some basic things that I buy that I would or could buy on a regular basis. So
I don't remember the last time I've been in a Walmart. Personally,
I don't regularly shop there, but you know, they've got like I bought laundry detergent and like dryer sheets and other random like stock your home things with the gift card that I got.
Yeah.
$25 gift card. And it's like, I'm going to buy those things anyways. Why not? I don't know.
Why not get a Google Home?
Why not get a Google Home for essentially $4?
Right. Yeah.
So I got a couple extra because I wanted one for like downstairs in the basement once we get that set up. And then we have one in our bedroom. And then I wanted one for like the office and or the kitchen. So I went crazy and bought all those things. And the reason I actually bought the first Google Home that I got last year for Black Friday. And I bought that in combination with some Hue smart lights, which have been pretty cool, but also, I don't know, it sometimes hit or miss. Depends on what you're using. That's the thing with like these connected home things. They're cool, and they're neat to have, but
what are they really doing?
Yeah, like I'll tell like Google to turn a light on or off, like turn the lights on or off. Like I get hit switches to do that stuff. Like I never used the end table lamps that came with our living room set until I got smart bulbs that went into them, and now like I turn them on with my voice, I guess. Which saying it sounds ridiculous, but like but I do that. But also there's times when I tell them, hey, like turn the lights on, and it's like, okay, turning the lights off.
That voice recognition needs some work, eh?
I guess. I don't know, but I like them. I've got, friends that have them, and they're cool. They're cool for, you can change the colors and do junk, even if they're not connected to like an assistant. It's nice to be able to have like
Right.
dimmable lights they're just built. The dimmability is built into the bulb itself, and just connected to somebody and be like, hey, dim the lights or turn the lights off, or I can chain stuff together by making a custom command that would, turn the lights rainbow colors. I have no idea.
Yeah, you could have fancy dance parties and stuff like that.
Right. So I think it's one of those things where it's I guess my point here is that connected home things, they're neat, right?
They're neat. That is basically the essential part of their strategy, is being neat. Doing neat stuff.
Right. Things that you could probably easily do and yourself, and may or may not make things even easier to do in general, but they're neat. They do things. I like them. I'm one of the people clearly that will buy, random things like that. Not normally when they first come out, but like
Right, but if you find a good Black Friday deal on it,
why not go crazy?
why not? Why not, check it out and have some fun with your home, with the mundane things of your home, right? But I mean, right? That's the thing. Like, it's essentially making things cool.
Right. And coming back to what we talked about in a previous episode, we've had people over and I've used my voice to turn lights on and off. Ooh.
Oh, ooh.
It's one of those, you've got a cool new things. That eventually fades and people are like, yeah.
But at the same time, first impressions, that's a thing,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you're trying to make some new friends.
Right. Bring some people over.
Yeah.
They bring their friends. They're like, oh, this guy's hip.
Yeah, this guy, he knows what's up. I think I'd like to eventually probably get a Nest. That'd probably be, honestly, that's probably gonna be the only smart home thing I would actually get. Light bulbs, really, I don't really care all that much about them.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was gonna get the Nest when I got this home here, but it just can't. It has a pretty darn new thermostat. It's just not, not a smartphone or smart, right? Smart thermostat, smartphone thermostat. It's not one of those, but it's new and it's a quality one. So I was like, I'll save my money, and it's not like a necessity. I don't need to have a Nest or something. I can spend that money on something else, like new shelves.
Dude, you can't spend your shelf money on things like a Nest.
Yeah.
A Nest isn't going to hold up.
No, it's not going to hold all my boxed up items.
They need to be unboxed.
Yep. Unboxing.
It's funny because we've got a Nest. That was like when we bought the house, and again there was a Black Friday deal on the cheaper version of the Nest because they came out with a cheaper version.
Yeah.
And I was like, might as well get one of those. The thermostat in here wasn't all that new. Fancy.
Yeah, it makes sense to upgrade then.
Yeah.
But yeah, like especially with any of this smart home stuff, it's cool to see all this stuff come out, especially like CES, and just kind of different announcements throughout the year. But it's always nice to see how this stuff actually works in the actual world first, and see what if there's bugs that come out with it, stuff like that, and then wait a little bit, see if there's a deal, especially come like Black Friday time, and if you're still sold on getting some cool stuff for your home, that's when you jump on it. At least that,
Right.
I mean, that would be my strategy, personally.
Yeah, I'm not as big of an early adopter as I used to be.
It just doesn't really make sense anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there's the price being one thing sometimes, and then, like you said, bugs with stuff, and just.
Well, yeah, and we're in an era now of MVP, minimum viable products being released, or alpha releases or whatever. Just companies don't. I don't feel like companies really spend all that much money or resources to iron out everything, because they can update it through the internet. Software just update drivers or firmware or whatever, so they can get away with bugs. So it seems like, to me, it just makes more sense to just kind of wait and see before jumping in it.
Right, like never pre-order an EA game.
Don't pre-order any games, honestly. It's not even just EA. EA's awful and a big no-no. But really, you shouldn't be doing it for any developer, because there's plenty of other developers that do that same stuff and somehow get away with it. At least less than EA gets away with it.
Well, I think there's some. I mean, it's obviously the minority, but there are some development studios or just games, I guess, in general, in my opinion, that are kind of safe to pre-order, like Zelda.
Right.
I feel like there's games have always been like super solid.
It's few and far between, though.
Right. So I agree with you. Like, yeah, the companies and people get away with like shipping, not necessarily half baked, but not shined products, and it's like, sure, well, we'll just put out a day one patch, or
yeah.
Oh no, our lights don't actually turn on if they're connected to this certain thing. I had a problem once because you can, with your like Hue lights, you can control them through an app on your phone or the internet in general.
Right, yeah.
But I primarily use my voice with Google Home, and I came home one day and it was just like pitch black outside, and I'm like, hey, turn the lights on. And there was some issue that like Google Assistant was having with connecting to Hue's system, and it's like, oh, well, that's inconvenient.
Oh, you just hear a whisper from the lights.
No, not tonight, pal. Then I gotta flip switches, and
it's just the worst.
Well, manual labor.
Yeah, you never know who touched your switches.
Oh, well, I hope there's not. I hope it's just me, my wife,
but
maybe my nephew. I don't know.
But yeah, so yeah, we're actually out of time here. So yeah, it goes by kind of fast.
I mean, once you get to talking about all the shiny things, kind of get going.
Time flies when you're connected to the internet.
I think it's good though. I think it's good we're connected to the internet, because otherwise people couldn't listen to this podcast.
That's true. That is very true.
You can't get the Binary Brothers without the internet. We haven't pressed any albums to vinyl. We're not burning CDs here.
And we don't plan to, so yeah.
Stay connected.
As long as the internet's up, we're up.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Binary Brothers Podcast. We can't wait for you to tune in next time. But until then, make sure to find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, SoundCloud, and BinaryBrothersPodcast.com.